Open my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the wave notes fall on my ear, everything false will disappear. It is a blessing to be back with you on this Wednesday, August 4th, and we're going to look back a few hundred years, actually to 1801. That's when Ludwig van Beethoven was 30 years old, and he began to notice his hearing was diminishing. He complained that he couldn't hear the higher notes of the instruments and the singers, and he began to notice it was happening at a disturbingly fast rate. He began to rage against his decline. To be able to hear his own playing, he would bang on pianos with such force that he would leave them wrecked and unplayable. By the age of 45, Beethoven was completely deaf. Well, you can imagine, I mean, we all lose our hearing over time as we age, but here he is, 45 years old, and he cannot hear. He had thoughts of suicide, but was held back only by his deep conviction that it was terribly wrong for someone to take their own life. Cut off from the world of sound around him, at times he held a pencil in his mouth against the piano soundboard so he could feel the harmony of the chords. Astonishingly, it was during this time that Beethoven produced his greatest music. He composed his incomparable Ninth Symphony, a masterpiece so daring, so unique, that it reinvented classical music altogether. Dr. Arthur C. Brooks, Harvard professor, writing in The Atlantic, says, "It seems a mystery that Beethoven became more original and more brilliant as a composer in inverse proportion to his ability to hear. Deafness freed Beethoven as a composer because he no longer had society's soundtrack in his ear." Well, how striking is it that silence allowed Beethoven to hear something new. When I think about in our own current techno-cultural moment, we're constantly connected with a humming online beehive buzz. There's a constant clanging, clamoring for our attention. We could gain much by regularly removing society's soundtrack from our ears. As Beethoven so vividly demonstrates, we can't really hear ourselves or others until we press the mute button on the cacophony in which our world has immersed us. The same goes for our spiritual lives as followers of Jesus Christ in our relationship with God. We can't really hear God speak until we turn down the deafening volume of the world and learn to value the gift of silence. Jesus certainly did. Mark 6:31 reads, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'Let's go off by ourselves to a quiet place and rest a while.'" He said this because there were so many people coming and going that Jesus and his disciples didn't even have time to eat. And in John's Gospel, chapter 10, verse 27, Jesus says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." Oh, to have the eyes and the ears of our hearts open so that we can hear the voice of our Savior, of our Shepherd, and follow Him. I can think of no better hymn to fit this message and this story today than "Open My Eyes That I May See." I invite you to sing it with me and to pray it with me. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the wave notes fall on my ear, everything false will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my ears, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me bear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love with thy children thus to share. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my heart, illumine me, Spirit divine. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my heart, illumine me, Spirit